Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with my friend James Castick.
Hello, Cleaning Nation. This is part 2 in a 2-part episode. If you missed episode 1, go back to the previous episode and check it out, and then enjoy this episode number 2.
Yeah, good question. So they were all kind of similar, and this was in real estate. It was a real estate business that I was doing. It was completely different. And I think my experience with that would be just the business that I had chosen at the time relied a lot on luck as opposed to just doing a good job and or spending a bunch of money to get properties to buy at a way below market rate. And
so what I'm hearing you saying is that it wasn't the coaching was bad. It's what you had as a goal. Maybe you picked the wrong industry and got okay to decent coaching, but you picked an industry where there's a lot of luck, or a strategy where there's a lot of luck involved, or you need to be really capital intensive and you didn't have the capital. So it wasn't so much the coaching was bad. It was just like a bad fit.
Yeah, I think it was a bad fit for me personality wise, looking back. Because I was just always trying to figure out, man, where am I bringing value to the table?
That's a great
in this business. Because all I could do would be like, all right, I can pay you a bunch of money really fast for your land, but I can't give you like great value for. I was buying and selling land, and we bought
large amounts of money. There's value there. It's not nothing.
Yeah, so it wasn't
a large amount of money. That could be a lifesaver.
Yeah, and that was about the only value I could provide. And
so you wanted a business where you personally could value add, not just your assets could value add.
Yes, and I could help, people along the way at every step of the process. So that's where the service thing, really.
So it sounds like it wasn't even the coaching didn't work. It was you'd got coaching industry that wasn't a fit for your goals. Yeah. Coaching might have been good, might have been bad, but it wasn't that you picked a bad coach. You picked a bad industry, and when you get coached up in the wrong thing, like if I don't play basketball and I hire a football coach, I might get the best football coach in the world, but I'm probably not going to get the result that I want.
Yeah, and I just had to start a business. I had to quit where I was at, and yeah, I'm just really glad I found cleaning, because it's just, I just got 2 sales this morning before this. That'll be about $1,500 a month in top line revenue.
You had me at a month. I was like, please be recurring. Yeah, it's almost 20 grand a year in recurring services in a not bad before lunch.
Yeah. And so it's just like, I don't know another business there are other businesses, but I don't know that quickly add recurring revenue to your top line. And then if your systems are right, it's like, you'll make money off of that. And so,
thank you for the kind of side rabbit trail on the coaching piece. It was just helpful for me, because I am afraid if people had bad experience with other coaches. I'm like, I don't want to be another bad experience. So it always feels good to me, just like, why did that go bad? So, you guys, Clean Nation, can make sure you have a good experience. Okay, so for you were just like, I got to get some goddamn help. This is too important to leave to chance. So that's why you kept going on the coaching. What was there any scary part for you, even after you kind of been bit before? You were just like, nope, I need help, and that's what I'm going to do, and that'll just be that.
Gosh, yeah. So I paid close to 100 grand in coaching for the other business that I no longer do. And
just so I can sleep at night, did you make some, if not most?
Yeah, I made some profit. Like, I think we made like $40,000 in profit, or I don't know. We made some profit, but there's a lot of expenses involved in that. I'd have to look back at my P&Ls to know the exact.
Not a total loss, but certainly a negative ROI.
Yeah, negative. Well, and when you're having to pay for 2 kids and your wife's life, and just, life's expensive these days. So I was starting to run out of money, and luckily I was really good at sales when I was young and then had some money, but had a chance to mess up on my first business. So, now this one is just, sorry, I forget the rest of your question, but
it just kind of, what's the old time commitment? And we know the revenue is doing about 15 grand. What were you doing in terms of, the quantity and quality of your time? And then what's the quantity and quality of your time now? And then revenue, if you're willing to share that. And then I was just going to open it up for you to give Cleaning Nation any value you see fit on anything relating to the cleaning business.
Yeah. So, man, I mean, I was working at least 50 hours a week. I wasn't counting my hours. I'm working on getting down in my hours right now. The cool thing is we're way beyond 15,000 in revenue. We had over 32,000 in top line revenue last month. And we actually hadn't even gotten to 20 yet. So I think
We went from 17 to 30.
we went from like 19 to 30.
Nice.
So really just with all this new recurring revenue that we've been adding, it just jumped up really, really. It felt slow, but also very fast at the same time. And so
What time frame? So how long were you stuck at that 15 to 19? And then how long did it take you to jump up to 30?
well, I can pull up my financials tab and tell you, like,
See, now James is just trying to get brownie points because he knows I freak out over people using their big tracker. That's my favorite thing ever. Is can you look at my marketing tab, my hiring tab, my financials tab? It's always my favorite.
yeah. So really from about October until April.
Okay, so that's 6 months, give or take.
Yeah.
Nice. 50% top line growth in 6 months. Not a bad.
Well, and then because we were at 15, 14, almost 18, almost 19, and then 32.
That's a big jump. And again, I'm assuming, to correct me if I'm wrong, of that 18, 19, a lot of it was one-time work. So you had to go kill it every month. Of that 32, God willing, hopefully 20, 25, maybe 30 of it's recurring. So even if you took, not that you would, but even if you took a month or two off of sales, it's like, yeah, my revenue it's now 32. I don't have to keep fighting to get that. That's just what it is.
Yeah. So now as I look at our recurring right now, we're almost at 30. We are at 29.9.
Oh, come on. Well, hold on. With the new 1500, because that's at least.
Yes.
Okay, including that, we're still 20. And all right, we need to get you like one client, even a little one.
Well, I just need to follow up with somebody from last week. I think we did it.
Make that happen. By the time I see you Monday, we got to be over 30. Come on, let's not fiddle around. Awesome. And then what about your quantity and quality of your work? So the 50 hours a week, what were you kind of doing the bulk of your time there? And then about how many hours are you doing now? And what does that consist of?
Well, I don't know. How do you quantify the amount of time you're worried all the time? So that was a lot of my hours. And then just trying to figure out how do I find people.
Was it money worry or was it stress about you're not going to have employees? Like, what was the worry specifically?
Oh my gosh, everything.
It's like it's all going to fall apart. You're going to do a bad job. There's so many things to worry about. What was weighing you down?
Oh, it was how do I get the phone to ring? How do I get people to fulfill the jobs? How do I get the right people, not just people?
Look, you were worried the phone wouldn't ring, and then you were worried it would ring and they buy, and so you were worried when the phone rang and didn't ring.
Yes. Yeah, I was just worried basically all the time. We weren't paying our bills until very recently. And
I can't wait to meet your wife because I'm sure she's going to give the real, like, oh my gosh. Because for those of you guys don't know James, but he's super positive and just smiley and, things. I'm guessing when things are going bad, I'm always like, please tell us the stuff. I don't want to just hear the good thing. But yeah, I'm dying to hear her perspective on it just from a personal, like how she experienced watching you go through all this.
Yeah, I mean, she's a saint and she's really been a trooper just letting us do this. And
all entrepreneurial spouses are just saints is probably good because they're just like, you're like, hey, I'm going to roll all of our dice into this thing and it's kind of all on me. And there's not a lot of guarantees. They're like, I love you, baby. Let's go. That is a rare, you don't meet that human being a lot.
Yeah. And so to answer your time question, sorry, I keep jumping. Yeah. So way less than 50. I mean, for instance, yesterday I went to the pool with my kids at 3:30 p.m. and all our jobs were done for the day. And
you were able to take a week off when you were, God forbid, at a funeral or having to fiddle with the company. Were you able to be off, or was it more like, I'm still working?
I was mostly off. And I was able to read at my uncle's funeral, and our gals took care of all the stuff. Our team, like our employees, took care of all the cleans and everything was great. But yeah, we were growing like crazy even back then. So it was just like, I think we had our 10 cleans in one day. We've never had 10 cleans in a day before. And it was like the day of my uncle's funeral. And it was just like, well, okay.
It just happened and you were doing you and the business was doing the business.
Yeah. And so because I'm a little neurotic, I did check in a little bit, but it was just like, all right, well, we're fine. And yeah, I would say more like 30. And I'm kind of trying to shrink that down even further of hours per week I'm working, of just But I just love the sales process. I love meeting people. I just love helping people solve this problem where they need good people to clean their house that they can trust. And
We're
it's
still
just,
the best thing ever. Like time. Like what is more valuable than that? You give me some money and I'll give you some time back for the right client. That's the best gig ever. I mean, really, that's what I'm selling too. Coaching. You give me some money, we'll give you some time. Like it's the best. So yeah, I get being fired up about this particular sale.
Hey, Clean Nation, Mike Campion here. One of my least favorite things about these podcasts are we found that people love the show and they love the information, but when I talk to you guys in person, stuff doesn't get done. People love the podcast, but they don't take any action. If you'd like to actually implement this and get this done in your world, we have a whole team of people that do exactly that. If you go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, you can book a time with either myself personally or one of our teammates to at least help you come up with a plan to actually implement and change your life. So if you want to go from getting these good ideas in your head to getting in your life, just book a free call with myself or my team, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, and we can go from this one-to-many format to one-to-one and really get you some results. Excited to talk.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's ways that I could stop working even more. But I feel like I'm almost just starting to be able to breathe and let go and trust, okay, this is not going to fall apart. Because it's not. We did have one of our gals is out this week. Her daughter has appendicitis, and then another gal was in the hospital over the weekend. So it's been a little bit of a hectic time as I'm worried about, our employees, because I love them. Like, they're amazing people. I just told you one of those crazy stories last week of how one of them went above and beyond what we would ever ask any cleaner to do. And I won't go into the details, but it was just like, then she called me after the fact. I'm like, Candace, you didn't need to do that, by the way. And, she's just a great person. So she actually was in the hospital, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So anyway, it's just, we have great people. It's fun when you get to work just with really amazing people that want to serve other people.
Employees going for, or I should say cleaners going from this necessary evil to people you actually enjoy building a business with is a game changer. Like, this is great. I couldn't imagine having a podcast with James. Like, God dang it, it's James, and I don't talk to him, and he's going to want to tell a story, and blah, blah, blah. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I'm excited to hang out. I'm like, it's just, and the same with, not just customers, but, the people that you work with. So I love that. Okay. I'm going to give the big takeaway I heard, and then I'm going to let you, give any value that you think would be helpful, whatever you think you can give the most value to Clean Nation. But the big thing I am loving about what you shared, James, is just being clear on what you wanted, and even when things get cranky, going after it. And especially when it's scary, right? It's easy to do the hard things when they're easy, like when there's not a lot of pressure, but when the stakes are high, it's one thing to invest a bunch of money in real estate coaching and crush it and then go do something different, success after success. It's another one to have an outcome that you didn't like. And I'm guessing didn't feel good financially, but if you're like me, emotionally, it was more like, I was really confident in myself, and now I don't feel so good. And, I've got my wife and my kids, and they're all looking like just a lot of stuff. And they go, but at the end of the day, I need to win. And it doesn't really matter how confident I feel or don't feel. I got a job I got to do, and I'm going to do what I think's best, even when it's scary. So that's my big takeaway. Note I'll give, just from a coach's experience watching James, and I'll tell him this, I would tell him this offline, is it's 9 times out of 10, we're able to get people out of their business to like a 10 or 15 hour work week much quicker than they're able to catch up. Like, they get the bends, right? So they'll leave their company for a week or two, and then they come back. I'm like, everything was a mess. Everything's on fire. You can never leave again. You're like, no, it was fine. I'm like, so why don't you go take another week off? Like, no, I couldn't. I have to. It's really, and I'm not saying like James is insane and there's nothing in his business that needs attention, but oftentimes it's the tactical gets solved within, 2, 3, 4 months, but the ability to emotionally just be like, and I love, my favorite part of you was going, yeah, me and my kids played yesterday just because I wanted to. Like, that ability to do that on a Tuesday for no reason, or Monday or whatever, comes slower than your business's ability to handle that. So it's like, we think the business needs us. In reality, we need the business. So we gotta like get our own heads straight, almost more so than the tactical part is usually solved far quicker than the emotional attachment. So that's my rant, but we're not here to listen to me today. Today's about James. So James, based on our conversation, what you know about those out there, anything you think that would be of value, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. I've just been so blessed to have found, I think I already plugged it, but just the hiring funnel, what you teach in the accelerator program, like the initial coaching program, is so incredible. It is worth so much more than you charge for it. And you also coach people through the process for the months. And it was just worth the risk. I did not have the money to spend at that point on it. So I had to break up the payments and, I did it, and like, we're here now because my business looks completely different in a better way than it did. I think I started in October with you guys. And was really wanting to get into even the next level coaching right after that, but I had to figure out some financial stuff to make that happen. And so now we're doing that, and it's just been such a help to me to be able to talk to people about the problems that I go through every single day. And then there's tons of other people on there that have already solved those problems, and they're like, oh yeah, just do this. I'm like, oh yeah. So because you've literally dealt with the exact same problem, maybe multiple times, there's other people in the program and you who know, well, this is what you should do.
As much as I love us, and I do, give me, if you could, the best feedback you can give for the vast majority, because we got hundreds of thousands of listeners and we can serve, a couple dozen a month. So the 99.9%, they're just like, thanks, jerk, I can't afford it, or for whatever reason, we're just not a fit. What would you tell those folks who are like, yeah, I don't have the money or whatever, it's just not a fit? What would you give them that couldn't afford coaching? Like, what action items of like, yeah, I was where I was at. How can I be like you, James?
Something I try to not have pride. That's one of my problems is, and I think I've been humbled over the past couple of years for sure, in this business, starting ventures.
By the way, the pride thing, you and every other human that's being honest out there, it's with some level of pride. So I feel you, brother.
But I would say I'm really proud, though, in a good way, that I didn't quit, that I didn't lose sight of the original vision of starting this second business, the cleaning business, I looked at my family and I just was like, man, there's got to be hundreds, if not thousands of families within 5 miles of us that need help getting our house cleaned. It's just like,
so
I don't know. And I was like, if that's true, I could have a business in that. And so I just remembered that, okay, like, if we just set out to serve other people and solve a problem for them, we're probably going to be all right. And so that's what I just try to keep at the forefront. And, and then I just look at my family, and then I look at, we have to clean every day, and it's like, yeah, it's just a necessary thing. So, yeah.
So last, just follow up, I promise we'll wrap. Again, you're saying things that I think most people would agree with, but you're taking a different action than I think most people would take. So I just want to get in that one little nuance. So I look at my family and I'm like, I've got to get this figured out. I couldn't fail. We all get that. Like, no one's like, screw you people, go hungry. I'm going to lay on the couch. Well, I shouldn't say no one, but no one I've met, thank goodness. But most people would go, so I'll just go, I know you're a smart guy. If you want to go back and get a job, you get a job tomorrow that will pay your family's bills. So it's one thing if you're like, doing a business or having this cleaning company is the only thing I could do. There's no backup plan. I have no skills. That was not your case. I'm very confident you could get a job, not to live the life you want, not to have the freedom you want, but you could have fed your family. That makes it even harder. How did you take that assumption of I can't fail, I got to feed my family, and focus that on doing a business when that was obviously the risk move, as opposed to the safe bet was just get someone else to pay you a paycheck or pay your mortgage?
Good question. I almost got a job, but I just, I don't know, I guess I'm probably more okay with risk than most people, but I just saw, I don't know, I just kept thinking about the calls I would get when I was at Angie's List, when I was just selling advertising there, when I was a young, early 20s. And so many people need good service people. None of us are ever going to get enough time. So I just saw that, I was like, there's such a need So if I don't do it, I'm actually not like helping like somebody who could be helped by a good person who actually cares. So I think I was like, whatever, I'm going to figure it out because people need this. So that was what I focused on, as opposed to like not making money for a long time. And I was just like, people need it enough to where if I actually care enough, I'll figure out how to solve people's problems.
Suzanne would be proud. We do podcasts all the time where we're just talking about focus on what you want as opposed to the things that could go wrong. And that's what you're doing. You could, if you focused on the risk and the fear and how bad things could go, any human would have gotten a job, because it just, how could you stand up against that? But when you're like, there's people that need my help, they'll pay for it. I need an income. I really give a crap. They need what I got. Why wouldn't this work? And it's so funny how both are true. You could focus on all the risks and you would have been 100% accurate without any exaggeration. And that probably would have overwhelmed just about anyone to go back to a job. And you're like, I'm going to focus on what I have to offer and what I feel the world needs from me, what I need from the world. You're like, how could I not? Like, just depending on the focus, the answer is wildly obvious. All right. Anything else to wrap, my man? Because you've given a lot to our kind listeners.
No, just thank you for being awesome and making me laugh every time I'm on a call with you. So thanks for bringing.
Sometimes the laugh always, every now and again, we'll give him some help about his business stuff. We're mostly just humor.
So much help, but also you make it fun. Like even when it's really tough stuff to talk through. So I appreciate just the demeanor that you bring to the table. It's really unique. So
we'll appreciate you. If any of you guys love James, feel free to give him a shout out. He's easy to find on the interwebs. Appreciate you, man. Clean Nation. Hopefully this is a value. Like I try to say almost every podcast, if you got something, please, that was helpful, please don't just go to another podcast or another thing. Stop and take an action, right? Reach out, send an email, get some help, do what you ever need to do. But if you keep giving, think about changes, it requires change. So if you want something different, go get some. Be like James, focus on what you want and figure out, what if I needed that? What if that was my only way? And then figure out the next step. And no need to focus on the fears and all that crap, because that'll just slow you down. So appreciate your time and attention. We'll talk soon. See ya.
Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. And we sure appreciate your time and attention.